Welcome to the Alpha Girl Confidence Podcast, where we are empowering youth female athletes to play and live confidently. My name is Shay Haddo, and each week I will bring you new episodes to teach you the strategies and tools that you need in order to live a confident, empowered life both on and off the playing field. Hey, what's up? And welcome back to the show. This is the last episode of 2020-21, and it's going to be a good one. So the title of today's episode is the 3 most important lessons to take with you into 2022. So as I was thinking about what are the 3 most important lessons, right? So I kind of meditated on this a little bit, and I came up with 3 really powerful things that I have learned from doing the inner work myself, from working with other girls. And these 3 things are very, very important for you to really embody and take with you into the new year. If you do, I promise you that you will live a more happy and confident life, which is why you're here, right? So let's get into these 3 things. And I would say, please grab a notebook because this is going to be really powerful. So make sure you're taking notes if you can. If not, go back and take notes when you can. All right. So the first one is self-love is the answer. Self-love is the answer. So as I've been talking with more girls, working with more girls, the fear that we have, whether it's a fear of making mistakes, a fear of failure, a fear of not being good enough, whatever it is, all of those fears, I would say about 90% of the fears of the girls that I work with, it all boils down to one thing. And that is a deep fear of being judged, a deep fear of what other people will think of me. So, okay, Shay, what does that have to do with self-love? Well, it has everything to do with self-love. Because here's the thing. If you don't love yourself, if you're not confident in yourself, then you are going to be really overly concerned with the judgment of other people. If someone comes at you and they say something that you don't feel confident in, then it's going to feel like there's daggers going into your heart, right? But if you're confident and you love yourself, it's almost like you develop this force field around you, right? That's my analogy. It's almost like you develop this force field around you where when someone does come at you and say, hey, you're not good enough, or hey, you're slow, or hey, like your shirt's ugly, whatever it is. It's like you have this force field so it doesn't hit you the same way because you know deep down that you're good enough. You know deep down that you're confident and that you love yourself. So the more you can love yourself, the less you're going to feel judged by other people. And also the less you will judge other people. So realize that when you do get judged, it's usually coming from someone that doesn't completely love themselves, right? So self-love is the answer. If you can really love yourself on a deep level, you'll be a better athlete. You'll be a better person. You'll be happier. You'll obviously be more confident. So I really want you to take that in, that when you have a deep sense of self-love, what other people think of you, yeah, you still may care a little bit. We all care. That's okay. But it doesn't stop you from living your life, from going after what you want, from taking chances. So that's the first lesson, is to really work on the inner game of self-love. And number two is to be the most authentic version of yourself. Okay, there's this really cool quote that I have posted on my wall right in between my light. And it says, who you are here to be has never been before. All right, I'm going to say that again. Who you are here to be has never been before. So you are meant to be here to be you, not to be anybody else. I think that we all, growing up, we have this deep desire to belong and to fit in, and that's great. That's what we're wired to do, right? But also, I think that so much we try to fit in so much that we change who we are to fit the mold of that group. We stop being our true self so that other people will like us, right? We wear the clothes we don't want to wear so that Sally down the street will like our outfit. We have long hair because that's what we're supposed to have, right? We do things that are not in our true self to please other people. But when you can understand that being your true self is the most freeing thing in the world, that's when life becomes so much easier, so much more enjoyable. And really, that's when you'll also empower other people to do the same, right? So like my hair, for example, like I pride myself on being really authentic and really being, the only version of Shay that there is, right? But there was a part of me when I had long hair and I was this just doesn't feel like me. Like I know everyone loves my long, luscious locks, but it didn't feel like me when I looked in the mirror. I was like, there's something like not connecting here. And so that was something that I did to like, when I did it, I was like, yes, like now I really feel like the real version of me. And there's always going to be things that I'm working on to become more authentic. But really, like, we need to get out of the idea of trying to fit in all the time. All right. Fitting in, having friends is great, but don't ever try to fit into a mold or to society's way of how you should be. And don't let that change who you are. Again, who you are here to be has never been before. So be you. There is only one of you. So be it. And don't ever, ever try to follow someone else's path or be somebody else. Because when you do, it becomes really hard to try to be somebody else. But when you're being yourself, you don't even have to try it. You're just yourself. So really the easier way is being yourself. So be the most authentic version of yourself. All right. That's number 2. And number 3, all right, number 3, this is a deep one, and I might have to go into a little bit more of an explanation here. But number 3 is that you already have everything you need to succeed. You already have everything you need to succeed. So I'm not saying that you don't need to get better, that you don't need to go train, that you don't need to work on yourself. I'm not saying that at all. What I am saying, right, is that everything you need is inside of you. We are so used to looking outside of us for all of the answers, right? We think we're broken and we need help from all these people and from all these YouTube channels and all this stuff, right? It's great to learn, but if we just sat with ourselves for a little bit longer in silence, we would find a lot of the answers that we're looking for, right? So stop looking outside for all of the answers. That doesn't mean don't have mentors, don't have people to help you, but realize on a deep level that everything you need is there. You just have to unlock it, right? So here's a really good example to make it really tangible for you. Is think about like training, right? Think about extra training, speed training, strength training, all that. And I've just barely had several conversations with parents and players about this, so it's fresh in my mind, right? So there's so many of you out there who are doing the extra training, who are, during the off break, you're getting your runs in, you're doing extra ball your work, you're getting your skills in, and that's great, right? If you want to do that, that's absolutely amazing. You're going to get better, right? But so many of the girls that I talk to, they're doing all this stuff, they're doing all the physical stuff to get better, but mentally they're locked. Mentally, they don't believe that they're good enough. They have the skills, but they're scared to use them in the game. They have the skills, but they're scared to make a mistake, right? So it doesn't matter how much you train. If you don't believe that you can do something, if you don't unlock that mental part of your game, then like that physical stuff stays locked in. But once you start working on the mental side, and once you realize that you do have everything you need inside of you, that's when, boom, it unlocks. And now your physical, all the stuff you've been working on, now it's released. Now, all of you, the physical stuff, it's like you can play to your full potential. All the things you've been working on can come to fruition in your games, right? But until you understand that it's all within you, it's all, things that you can work on internally, until you realize that, you're going to feel trapped. You're going to feel like, man, I'm putting in all of this work, but there's still like something holding me back. There's still something holding me back. So working on self-love, working on being the most authentic version of you, being in silence and really sitting with yourself and really starting to love yourself despite all the outside things. Once you start to do that, and do a lot of the inner work and work on these different confidence strategies, that's when you can start to unlock your physical game. right? But without it, your physical game stays locked up, right? And so that was a specific example to sports, which if you've been listening to me for a while, you know that it's much bigger than sports, right? So you can apply this to all of these three things. You can apply it to any area of your life, right? It's not just sports. In life, in school, you have everything you need, right? You just have to unlock it. Again, that does not mean that you should know everything, right? The more you think you know, the more you don't know. So don't be a know-it-all. That's not what I'm saying. But what I'm saying is, like, deep down, if you know that you have everything you need, you won't always outsource everything. You won't always go outside of yourself to find the answer. What I mean is, you have to sit with yourself sometimes. You have to sit in silence sometimes to find the answer, to find and work through those tough decisions. So I hope those three things make sense. Again, number one is self-love is the answer. Number two is to be the most authentic version of yourself. And number three is to realize that you already have everything you need to succeed. You just have to unlock it. You just have to do the inner work. All right. So I hope this was helpful for you. Take these three things, and maybe you just take one at a time. Maybe you just pick one of these three things, and I'm all about taking small baby steps. So maybe you take one that really resonated with you and you really focus on that and prioritize that. And once you feel good about that, then you can adopt another one, right? So if you don't want to take all three, take one at a time, implement them, embody them, and become the best version of you. So if this episode was helpful, share it with a friend, share it with a teammate, share it with anybody you want to. Let's get, these messages out into the world. But I hope you have a happy new year. I hope that 2022 starts with some awesome positivity, and just know that you got everything you need. And I'm excited to see your growth. I'm excited to be here for you and keep this podcast pumping. So thank you so much for listening throughout 2021. It's been an awesome year. I don't even know how long it's been. We're at 166 episodes, haven't missed a single week. And 2022, we're going to keep on rolling with some awesome content. Again, thank you for your support with the podcast, with the book, with the programs. If you're a listener, I love you so much. So thank you for your support. And I will catch you on next week's episode in 2022. See ya.